All right, we are live, ladies and gentlemen. I bring warm greetings to Una, very warm and massive greetings to Una from the then and now TNN TV Media Empire 1. Today, at the very first day of March 2023. Supposed to be an exceptional program. We know we ever tire for apologize because we get great respect for the Sierra Leonean people. And we not get no intention for hold them hostage as to the dispensation of information. This program is supposed to start some 42 minutes ago. And we very, very open in terms of what we do now. We make the public very much aware as to what the issues are. So like I say, we'll be supposed to start some 43 minutes ago. Unfortunately, the guest for tonight, it come on briefly shortly before the transmission hour, which was supposed to be at 1900, 7 p.m. Sierra Leone time, British Standard Time, and then suddenly disappeared, and I'm not able to get hold of him. So I've been still wait because I want to go live with him on the program itself instead of just going live by myself. Unfortunately, I'm not able to get him at all, and I've been able to make a decision as to whether I will go on with the program in a monologue style, which of course I can do because I get all the materials then set and be a short broadcast, or actually wait for him. So in between that decision making and the clock they tick in the wait, I'm not able to get him at all. So I make a last minute to time decision within the last 1 or 2 minutes. Say, well, you know what, I been get beaucoup people them way write to me, we send me messages, we say, well, this could be a good program, and we wait for listen. And as I talk so now, even though we are 40 some more minutes late, the number don't begin to generate. At least we get almost 30 people. We don't begin sign on, and they ask if I can please share the link so other people then go join, because hopefully the guests go join. But having said this, Fambulem, this is not the hub of the conversation. And as election the loom, we are getting more and more exciting news. We are reading news about Lahai Lawrence Lima, the Deputy Minister of the Interior. We've been doing a prominent TV station in the country, and the remarks that we make. I understand say you don't retract those remarks, or you don't apologize for lack of better words. But I want people now for say, this is not the TNN TV Media Empire, the hub of the conversation, and we get much they come for Una. Please don't touch that dial and keep tuned. Obviously, this with new intro is as a courtesy of Baba Sheikh. Very much appreciate the brother in gestures towards this platform over the few years, the many years that we've been in the broadcast business. He's been very generous. Some of the work that we don't do for we has come at no cost at all. And if Baba Sheikh they listen, or anybody of Baba Sheikh in people and they listen, please convey the message that we appreciate very much that. Like I say again, don't touch that dial because when they come on, please help for share this. One more time, this is the TNN TV Media Empire. Once more, very warm greetings to Fambulem. The last time I apologized for, of course, every time we offer apology on the platform for necessary reasons. The last time and few other times before then, now the quality of we sound and the video, some people in bring come to our attention, and we know exactly what's going to happen. So even before they come to studio, so a friend of mine, a brother that I consider to be a friend, call and try for advice as to things them way for do, which I very much appreciate. And as soon as I can see, the quality of the video might not be 100%, but far better than the last one. And this very much we kind of appreciate. Having said this, Fambulem, it is important that information continue for flow, but flow in an objective manner. In the age of disinformation, misinformation, one has to be careful as to what's in the read, and when you read, how much of it you understand. Of course, someone can pretend like you understand where you don't understand, nothing. You don't understand. Not to everybody not analyst. Analysis is as a consequence of experience and a skill set. So not to everybody they do them, but some people can pretend as if they can do them. And some people can pretend as if, people, are sort of jealous of them. Well, nobody they even look their direction or not even they consider them. And others, can say some things, like when them buy something or when they get something at the only time where other people and they go buy them, or sometimes and then buy motor car, then other person self they go buy motor car, like say then they in competition. What a load of rubbish. But of course, in as much as it sounds like a load of rubbish, this is reality that some people and get that thought process there. And these people, their thinking capacity, the mentality is zero. Can't compete. And also competition, competition has to be healthy, and it's good for get a healthy competition. But you think, say, you're not the top dog, you're not the top man, you're not the top brass, with big ego, we're not worth nothing at all. But anyway, una forgive me for that rant. Just to tune myself into my element, okay? And having said this, permit me for digress. Famulem, elections, they come, yeah? And very, very important. And when I can make comments, if anybody want for call, I think say the number today, if you want to contribute, I will wait for the guest for come. I'm not sure whether the guest will come because I give them over 40 minutes before they come live. But who knows? Sometimes even myself can make mistake, with the time and the time zone because the guests live in another part of the world from me. So maybe get the timing altogether, kind of wrong. I wish I may not remind that earlier. But again, I will expect some courtesy call. If this is the case, the guest not able for appear for say, hey, I'm not able for appear again. Oh, you see, and this nine are the problem. And let me say something again before I go to the core side of this program. The thing about Then and Now TV Media Empire platform is we are doing quite well in many respects. Some of the programs the way we hold is not free, because information it come at a cost. Imagine if you don't want to sit down and also me time is valued. Imagine the accessory they want to use, the equipment they want to use, then come at a cost. Imagine Wi-Fi, the internet, the boom speakers, the lighting, they all come at a cost. So for help for offset this cost, I can ask some guests. They're not every guest, and not to say they discriminate, because if somebody in a free time and they're not able for help in that direction, I don't ask them and I understand. And if I need them, that badly, of course, I can tell them that, and some them can do unwillingly. In other words, the flyer we use, and the platform with the screen we program them, they also come at a cost. How do you think those costs are met? So sometimes we do charge people, especially for the flyer. And again, imagine you don't do the flyer, then a guest not appear. If a guest spend money on the flyer, then no say they get an obligation for appear because their money get value. So then go after that. But once it's free, then sometimes they don't turn up at all. And I'm not saying that this is the case of this particular guest. I just say this generally, but now this they happen. So people have been very generous towards the platform where then they contribute, especially in flyer making, where we can charge £7.54. Sound like big money, but no, it's not at all. Because imagine your face go viral, the whole world get to know you, get to see you, get to have a feel for you, and sometimes follow the program as well. This entity, Then and Now, is also a registered company. It's a company of United Kingdom, of course. And these are some of the things then. I'll be wish for discuss this with Fambulem that we got fined recently because of taxation filing for file with taxes. at the end of the year. Of course, I'm not an accountant, so I've been supposed to get me accountant way for do that. We miss the timing and all the letters that we come, of course, sort of ignore and what have you. And now we get a heavy fine now we hit. And that fine the day on me head. And it will have to be paid. Of course, this is not government business with Unasabi. Other than that, I will be prosecuted. The channel might be taken down and things like that. But anyway, back to Usawide. We suppose forget the global chairman of the C4C na the platform today. The C4C na the acronym for the Coalition for Change, which is a political party na the Republic of Sierra Leone. Then on they go through some difficult problems, especially so since the talisman, the pointman, the man we organize them, we bring them come into being. When I say bring them come into being, I know say they get people in the background where na the skeleton of the party, where na they form the party, where the initial or original documents na the signature na the day. One such person na Mr. Sanyama, a man who don't appear on this platform, I believe, once or twice. In other words, we don't interview him. So we get little understanding of this, and furthermore, the party itself is a political party, so therefore it's public. So we can see into the records them, we can know the leader them, see the leader them. And the last election, they did quite well. They became the third major party in the country. I mean, elections can be funny, and the dynamics about elections, again, can be a little bit, confusing, if you like. In other words, while some party them can be broad-based, in other words, they can get a national appeal, some of the party that we seen at the last elections we do quite well, but happy for BC, now the constituency no more or the district, now they then do particularly well, which means that there is no broader national appeal by such parties. So when it comes to elections, I'm not going to say they're not relevant. Of course, they are quite relevant. They are registered, made up of Sierra Leoneans, them, with an intention for contest by elections and see potentially whether they can win or help for shape the landscape of politics with social and economic background in our country going forward. And political parties is not only about participating in elections. They get far more bigger work them where they can do, where it's not even necessary for participate by elections. But what we understand, they don't make we for understand, is political parties are synonymous with elections. But this is not the case for Mbolen. Having said this again, going back to the C4C, we all now know the history of C4C, how it was formed during the last election, just before the last elections. And people like the former leader, former vice president, Alaji Dr. Sam Sumana, we head the party. He decided for leave at one point. And when he left, for go rejoin the party, Usai will be make him vice president. He get for take the party along. And this time, my understanding, I've spoken to various shades of people. I know the last time when I do a program on this, Sierra Leoneans that will belong to the C4C with a different opinion came at me. Okay? And these are facts because the records are there. Most things them I can archive them because I can even produce them when it become necessary. You interview one set of people, and this is just my job. I did not immediately interview one set of people. If other people let me get, the idea say that one can join the interview for create an opposite narrative or for counter the narrative where other people and they come with. Of course, these are things that are welcome. Unfortunately, this wasn't the case. And what happened is I began for invite and interview one set of people and we dinner the party, and the party don't they at loggerheads with another set of people, if one can understand. This obviously offend, some people within the C4C. And they use very colorful languages, here towards me, one that I've become sort of kind of used to. I don't appreciate it. I don't accept it. But I don't come for get used to run because in this business, and especially with your kind of politics, this is exactly waiting to happen, where I find quite distasteful, disgusting, because with politics for don't rise up above their little petty things there. But still, for sure say somebody, they support somebody, and I go create more rudeness than even anybody else. Again, having said this, the C4C was formed. Dr. Alhaji Sam Sumana decide for leave the party because he gained ambitions. And the ambitions now for lead the country one day. He's been a vice president of the country. And the next thing we want is obvious now for be the president. For attain that, it's clear that the configuration of the C4C and what it represents the country demographically, politically, is impossible. And if you want for get that your ambitions, you realized you want actualize that your ambition there, it now means that you have to move towards something of vehicle we go provide that a mechanism there for realize your ambition. Hence is move. And in fact, in resignation letter, which I read, which I saw, it make it clear that he need for move to the APC party because of XYZ reasons. He cannot realize his ambitions in the party where the form will go on for being the third, but be only the now one corner of the country, which is the Kono district. Okay. Similar fate now in Dr. Kande Yumkela, suffer. And there are similarities. But we go leave Dr. Kande Yumkela out of this for this moment and the NGC party because there's a lot of struggle ongoing, and that would be for a separate and completely different program. So the C4C, waiting happened at that time there. I remember I come out with a headline. I don't exactly remember him again, but it had something to do with imploding. And I think there was a question asked, is the C4C imploding? Having observed what they go on at the political scene with the C4C. Is it imploding? The magic man, the talisman, the leader, the charismatic man, way been there before the C4C, although no win parliamentary seat, left the party. That left where he left the party. Many people are accused and say, well, he not left the party clearly. Okay? Because he also take the party and we can come along to APC. For, as some people say, well, I can bring along assets we will be of benefit to the All People's Congress if una, give me wish way now for can first of all rejoin the party, and then going forward, hopefully I will be elected as the flag bearer of the party. Having said this, Fambulem, what will happen now is other men them we now part of C4C members, better said. They begin for create confusion around, if you remember, Lily elections that we've been the whole by elections and what have you. The C4C, some C4C members were turning up there, and even though they had not declared that they were no longer members of C4C and they are therefore APC, but they were still going to APC elections and disrupting those elections. Some of them still get the ID cards. And we get for remember similar fate, just like the NGC. A lot of people that left the APC and went to C4C were already APC members. Remember, they left the APC, and this is clear-cut evidence. It's not an opinion. It's just a statement of fact. The man who moved away from the APC because of waiting happened, or who was expelled from the APC, we go on for go form the party. Of course, he will get followers them. Of course, the district to side come out is heavily followed. And waiting happened in that instance, the people in Kana Falaram, and then people in they were APC. So once that mandate decide for come back from that party, we go form C4C and come back to APC, this same group of people in Falaram, not every one of them, because they now show say that even though we get this kuskas among we and this kind of low mentality among we, there are people who are sharp, such as the Dr. Aliyu Iskandris, such as the Iafandes, such as the Mr. Sanyama. I mean, I've spoken to these people, and I know there is a level of morality, there is a level of principle. Okay, there are things that they will accept and things that they wouldn't accept, then get and red lines them, which cannot be crossed. Okay, So what can really happen now is Dr. Okay, I think let me guess the call. Una bear with me, I'll just answer me guess quickly. Let's see whether we can run with each. Okay, family. They say it's better late than never, and sometimes we get to be careful with waiting with they say and how they say waiting with they say. Okay. Obviously now the guest now called me just now from the short discussion, and I say that there's been an issue with communication of time, understanding of time. The time zones are different. Now it make you make sure say you understand the time. Okay. So we dey hope for get them, and when we get them, we go run through the program and try to ask the normal questions and understand where we are. So let me see what they go on. Okay. Anyway, we do have we guest, and it should sign on in the next few moments. Okay. I can assure you this say we guest. I already don't secure around the secure room, and I go bring and come on very, very shortly. So like I mean, they say that are the background and you see things and get context. This is where analysis, you get for be somebody with that kind of a skill set. It has to be well researched and not to it gets something for do with social media, but not to social media, not to social media no more. But even on social media, because they can be relevant information on social media, you don't get carried away with the sleazy stuff, the cheesy stuff, the one which is meant for how you call them for provide this information to you. Okay, so let's see whether we're able to bring with guest cam. Still a struggle for adjusting stream. Okay, yeah, what you need for do I wish we don't do this earlier on. You need for adjust your gadget where you use most likely now your phone into a landscape position, sir, so that we go get an equal balance 50-50. We go make it look more professional. So while she do that, I will just remove you quickly from the live one. So you need to go to your settings and look for landscape position. Yeah. Okay. So family, when I don't see a gist of we guest, we happen a big man, is the global chairman for a political party. We take third place in the country a few years ago. Okay. So we just allow for let you adjust in what is it? Yeah. Yeah, you hear me?
Yeah, there you.
Okay. You need for swipe now your phone from up down. Just swipe from your phone up down, and you go see the options that are there. And then you look for a landscape option like setting your camera or whatever. Or just swipe from up down, look at the options that are there, and try for look for a landscape position. Right now, they're in a portrait position. You need to avoid this. Okay. So we'll yeah, go on.
I don't do them.
Okay, that's fine. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, so we are there now. Anyway, Fambulem again once more. Let we just warm up the floor with we intro. We finally don't get we guess, which is very good. We are happy, and I'm sure you guys are happy about it. And if you are happy, let's try for double this number. We know we start late, so we they punish we by having less people on the platform. But let's get more people on the platform. There are about oddly 70 people watching on both the platform, then we will hear the program. And you go find if we can double this number in the next 2 minutes. This is just by sharing. And this is not something we will ask, please. In social media, the construct here is about sharing. Now so the thing they work. Okay. Just don't provide the background. So now that we guest, let me come here, let me just do a quick 30 seconds warm down and we go straight to a guest. Okay? Right. Mr. Fande, a warm welcome to the TNN TV Media Empire. You are no stranger to this platform. You don't appear on this platform a few times. I think I'm two times. And so maybe the language will permit me for, say, a few times. And it's good to see you. You look quite well. And I'm sure family is doing well as well. So thank you very much for taking the opportunity for coming on the platform. And just straight to the point, sir. As we speak today, where is the C4C? A party will be provide an opportunity for thousands of Sierra Leoneans them make thousands of Sierra Leoneans them very, very hopeful that now the turn of the last election. But today, as we see, although it not come as something strange, because this couscous don't go on for quite a while, so I'm sure we have an agreement on that. Disappointing thousands of Sierra Leoneans, especially those from the Kono district, usa una derive una power and una strength. Waiting at the state of the C4C today, Mr. Fande, can you give we update of the party today as we speak, sir?
Yes, Prince, thank you very much for the invite and thanks for hosting me. Let me tell me family I do this town at Pekin, Fande from the US. Thank you. Yes, the status of C4C never changed. We are well and alive. Yes, we have we've been getting issue in reference to the court case. We the diaspora leadership and some of the leaders on the ground as Salon who've been care the executive in the courts for issues that we leaders then decide say needs to be addressed by the judiciary. So we end up for going to court, and then of course the court case is drag on. So because of that, C4C was not quite active politically, both publicly, both in the diaspora and on the ground as alone. So people if you say, well, this is the end of C4C. But I just wanted to come to this media today and talk to people them all over the world that C4C is well and alive. And we are moving on. We never stop working behind the scene. We worked every day. We meet. Every week we're working. Well, I also say every day because we are communicating as leaders all over the globe. We have a strong leadership, a diverse leadership. That we'll get leaders all over the continent. So we continue for work while this case be go on, and then eventually, thank God, it don't come to an end. And now we can regain back our strengths publicly, in a sense, bring back our party together so we contest the next election. So we are back.
All right. Unayeyam is none other but, as una can see on the screen, the global chairman for the Coalition for Change C4C, and Mr. Fande. And with all of the updates we don't give it as to the party, the last word we may pick up is, and I shall say when I read the same thing as well, we are back. Okay, let's see how much of back we are, or you are, you and the party, with a capital Y, you are. You mentioned, of course, a court case when at the center of this piece we want to talk about today. And tell me about this court case really. How, and also we don't talk about this, many, many months ago. And this case don't look the drag on for quite a while, but we will come to that. But give me a background of this court case. How this thing end up in a court. And we see quite recently that officials, executives of the party are now operating as illegal. I wonder whether then they also involve people like you are they talk today, because I might be talking to somebody illegal where probably the court go, put something against me for talking to you in a position of maybe you still active and act in a position of trust, not the party. But that mandate today has expired, hence the court in decision. But we give you a brief background of the court in story. How will I end up in a court, please, Mr. Fande?
Yes, thank you very much, Prince. Well, what happened after the 2018 election? We've been even before the election, as you know, you're a student of history. We get with certificates, registration certificate as a political party, like 2.5 months before the general elections, 2018. So it not been give us enough time as a party to put a permanent structure in place. So what we did, we put a temporary leadership in place for go through the convention and then go through the elections. So after the election, we say 3 months after the election, we'll get a national convention. So we elect a new leadership where we carry on with the party. So TRP after the election, of course, as you know, we flag bearer, Sumana decided for left the party. So when he decided for left the party, the executive was in place. They were very much in concert with Sumana. So our position was, we were very clear that after 3 months after the election, we'll get a new leadership elections, and we'll put a new executive in place. But the city executive refused to do that, and then we can realize that there was a issue with managing the affairs of the party. So to save the party, for make the party and not go collapse, and this is the reason why we carry where we're gonna cut, because we realize hence some Sumana don't say they're gonna APC. The chances of the party to survive if we not be act quickly would have been very slim, because the city executive was in favor of him going to APC, which the diaspora leadership was not. And this party will not form because of one single individual. It was owned by an individual. Like, there was a notion out there that C4C is owned by Sumana. No, it's not. The C4C is owned by a group of patriots that are very much believe in democracy, and very much believe that we forgive people then a third option as alone. So this is what made up of C4C. And C4C started in the diaspora. So we all started a party. We said, okay, no, we cannot let this happen. We cannot have this party die just because an individual left. No, it's not going to happen. So to prevent that, we'll take the current executive, the executive that was in power, we'll take them to court, and we get an injunction placed on them that they cannot operate until the court decides. So the court case dragged on and on and on and on, unfortunately for all of us included. Up to last couple of weeks, about a week and a half ago, when the judge ruled for say, okay, he ruled a giving order on where we are today, as far as the party is concerned. So this is the background of the court case. This is why we end up in court.
Again, many thanks, so much, Mr. Fande. I really appreciate this, and I sure say the audience will appreciate this as well by providing that background. We go come to the nitty-gritty of the case itself, because can I say thank you for providing the platform with the order itself, so that it's a first-hand information, not to hear say they say. Many thanks for that. The question here, sir, is like just like how you say, this case has taken like ages, but of course at some point it has to be resolved. But what it make really it take this while? And even though, yes, now it appears like it's been resolved, I don't think it's been resolved, because there are still parties, with grievances. So I don't know whether it's been resolved or not. But of course, the court don't hand down a verdict. But why it takes so long, Mr. Fande, in your view?
Well, to be honest with you, I cannot explain the judicial system as alone. I cannot go into the minds of the system and the mind of the judge. Okay, but what happened when we filed this court case in 2020. Okay, and we realized, say, Miss Prince, we realized, say, the party, for some reason, the case was held hostage in the judiciary, because we will file a case. We don't go before the judge several times. We don't go on a court. We don't appear several times for make. Even at one point, 1 minute case are going to be resolved, because we'll not be expecting this. It will take this long. We expect, say, there will be a quick judgment, either for we or for the the other side of the case. We were the plaintiff, okay, and then they were the defendant. But when this keep on going, and then we have no end to it, it becomes very concerning to us with the plaintiff, with the diaspora leadership. So eventually we can go for get lawyer involved again and go back to the judge, and just file some more documents in the court for, say, we want a resolution, because the elections is coming and we have to put our party together. So eventually, and I'll give credit to Judge Fisher, he ruled on this case, but it has become a hostage to the political system as alone and to the judiciary. It's like, this party was held hostage, so this party cannot partake in this 2023 elections. But as God, we have it. We have the ruling, we have the orders in front of us as a party, what we need to do. So get ready for the next elections, and we're working towards that expeditiously to make sure we meet the judging order accordingly, so we will move on to the next elections.
Well said. Well said, sir. But there's much more disappointment in terms of it depends on whose side members are. There are members who are celebrating this verdict handed down by the court, and there are members we obviously are down with the decision of the court itself. I not say we dey struggle with your video, but I sure say you hear me, and if you can just say yes, whether you hear me, Mr. Fande. Okay, we lost Mr. Fande briefly. We lost Mr. Fande briefly right there, but hopefully he will come back very, very soon. So it don't provide you with the background of the case, and we don't talk about the timeline, and we don't talk about Dr. Alhaji Sam Sumana, the former VP, and you don't tell we clearly say, they talk about the guest, clearly when the party was formed, it wasn't formed for the basis of one individual. It was a political party representing the interest of a number of people, a diverse number of people, and they do well at the last elections. So whilst we wait for here Fande again for can explain to we, because we got a few more questions for him. This not the grilling time, and we try for do a little bit of a deep dive, if you go like. Yeah, and this is exactly what we try for do. So we wait for her for let come back. So we go take them from there. Yeah, they hear me?
Yeah, they hear you now.
Okay. So fair enough. I mean, you don't provide all that explanation there, and there are people who are disappointed or on either side. Whether the issue is resolved or not, but of course, the judiciary or the high court don't hand down a verdict. Okay. We look at the timeline here as to when the court hand down a verdict. Of course, election looming. This is the thing. Correct. So it's a critical piece of timeline, sir. There are talks around or rumors around. We know they deal with rumors now, but at least it can be substantiated, and the circumstances does speak to that. In other words, the ruling party, as we understand, they try to take advantage of the party, and then they infiltrate on a stronghold right now, which is Kono. So, like I say again, it's not because it's actually happening. That has invested. You still hearing me?
Yeah, there is. There's a lot of breakup.
People are not cut away. They cancel us them when they go join the SLPP, thereby weakening the fabric of una party. Explain, please.
Yes, it is true that ends within a court. Okay, so because we are waiting for this ruling, Kono, as we stronghold, has been infiltrated by the the stronger parties, both parties them, but mostly SLPP We don't see say we do get report from the ground, report from people on the corner, how much they be bribed with bikes, with money, and then just to go change the party affiliation. So some of them did that, but just some of them did, which is correct, and we're okay with that. Is their right to join any political party? But here's the fact: in 2018, the ruling party there, which was APC, spent a lot of money in Kono against C4C. We had nothing. I mean, we were just a new party. We don't get that much money now we earn, but the people of Kono believed in C4C that with all the money they spent, we still end up for overwhelmed Kono in reference to winning almost all the seats except for one and then all the district seats, the councillor seats, and as well as the mayoral seat. So we believe in our people that regardless of where they placed us, going to these elections, we're gonna do well in Kono. We don't stronghold that because every political party have a history, and every political party have a stronghold. We respect each of the other political parties their stronghold. There's nothing wrong with them for them to persuade some of our folks. But these folks,
if you can permit me for just budge in,
yes.
Because I mean this just clicked on my mind. You say this with confidence that this now a stronghold. Of course, it is a stronghold, and we expect for do well. But the issue here is it's like this now una same number, the same factor, not different people, and there's a split between you guys. How can you say with this utmost confidence that you guys are going to do well? We're not to outsider there. Of course, outsider they come from can influence the situation. But like I say, councillors of yours don't they trust court and they go over to the political party, which means that C4C is under threat.
No, definitely it is. But every political party, Prince, goes through what we're going through right now, especially a new party, So if you look at the history of political parties, and even looked at even currently, even among the APC, among the SLP, people break away and go to other parties. So we are going through the same transition. This we don't expect, say, as a political party, especially being a new political party, that to go on to everybody where all the councillors them or all the seats that will win, the people that where they contest and that will flag there will stay with us forever. No, that's happening within the other parties them. So this is how political parties are built. So now we know say, with them leaving, there are more people that are willing to join us. Okay, so I honestly believe in the people of where we are based, our stronghold, and I know say, regardless of what somebody do, regardless of the political party they join, we are gonna contest in those seats, and they're not just within the Kono district itself, but the entire country. Will make sure we have candidates to fill in all the constituencies them, and the entire country and the flag bearership by God in power. It's not, we're not boasting here. Yes, we are new. We're still coming along, but I tell you, the people that they left, we have no problem with them. They are our brothers and sisters, and in fact, our doors are open. And the reason why most of the left, I tell you, Prince, are because they be feel say we will never, this case will never, go ever come in a court. If you say, this is it, they got to do something. They got to go somewhere because, the election season is here. So some of their biggest surprise and some of our distractors' biggest surprise, the case is out of court. We're back. We're back. So the folks that have left us, that's all good. We have no problem with them. They can come back, but we're gonna move on as a political party, and we're gonna be even much stronger than we are right now. So going to these 2023 elections.
So let me understand this ruling and for the benefit of the public. When the courts make some of the all of the officials, the operating officials, the executives, as illegals, who are these people where the court declares illegal? Are you one of them?
Oh no, definitely not.
So you guys are the winners of this court case because the case don't be against other people. Is that against the leader now in the parliament, Emerson Lamina?
No. There were two people that was very specific. The court
Sanyama?
Yes, Sanyama and Mr. Tabasandi. Mr. Tabasandi, Yeah, then I've been the former chairperson, national chair. Okay, and then Mr. Nyama was the deputy secretary general. So this is where we are right now. Those are the only two. Outside of that, nobody else. Nobody else.
Okay. And let me get this clear as well, because again, you speak with confidence that the C4C is going to prevail. I mean, if you don't lose Honorable Alhaji Dr. Sam Sumana, who absolutely was the key man, the charisma, the front man, guide, if you were like. And I know they say because you make a clear back say the party was not formed at the BS of just one person or for support one person. It's broad base. But of course, every party get a talisman, and Sam Sumana was a talisman. But una seem for still a struggle, you forget that, your frontline man we would take or put on the shoes of Sam Sumana. Would that be a fair characterization of the position of the C4C right now? It sounds very unfair, but let's be objective.
No, it's not. It's not. And the reason why I don't state this before, and the reason why over the last 2 years, going to 3 years, we're silent. We play the background of our, our leadership structure was because of the courts, because there was an injunction on all of us to make sure that we not operate as a, we not operate like any other political party until the judge rule. So, but I tell you right now, we have numbers of individuals, and we're not, in a very short time here, we're not going to see that we'll come up with somebody, we're going to lead the party, we're going to be a flag bearer, where you just be as flamboyant as Sam Sumana. And, talking of Sam Sumana, he's our brother. He was our leader. We respect him. But when he decides to go back to APC, no quarrel at all. We have no problem with him going back to APC. We still consider as our own brother. This is politics. He made a decision, for your own benefit. So we have no quarrel with that. But I tell you, we have some people within our leadership, within our party, that we will put up for run as a flag bearer. Which with time we'll soon disclose, because we're getting ready. We're working behind the scene right now with the committee that the judge ordered us to form, which is the 21 person committee. For Meko, we'll do convention, and then we'll present to flag bearer. But we do have plenty of folks with different background that we can choose to be our flag bearer. That will just be as influential as maybe even more. So people that were Salon, they're going to be surprised. They're going to be surprised, where were these folks? And this is the option I want to give to our to Salon people. Then we could get an option, say, listen, these two political parties, APC and SLPP, they've ruled this country for 60 some years. We've not seen much of it. We've not seen any benefit where people then go, yes, they've made some strides, but very little for the last 60 some years. So one for good people the option, say, look, there's a third force, and there's an option, please consider this. And I strongly believe in the electorate in Sierra Leone. The electorate in Sierra Leone right now, they are young. About 60% of those electorate are the young generation. So with time, a party like C4C would definitely transcend into just winning parliamentary seats. Eventually winning the presidency of Sierra Leone, because people are gonna start thinking outside of the box and give a party like this an option, just like what happened in Gambia. And we believe in that. We strongly believe in this. And that is why C4C, we said to ourselves, when I say we, the diaspora leaders, that this party should never die. We would not let it happen. So even with Sam Sumana leaving us, in fact, it strengthened us. It strengthened the party, because, as I said, we keep on working, and we'll make sure that we'll keep the party alive. And that's what we've done. And even though we have a short time to put ourselves together for the next elections, but we've done the warm-up. We've been working. This is exactly what happened in 2018. In 2018, I have friends on the NGC side, and they call me and say, "Boy, una can't jury, boy, una don't let you know get certificate." We tell them, say, "Boy, una wait so, don't wait and see." So we did not, we know they make a lot of noise, but we are working effectively and efficiently. And I believe in the leadership of C4C. The leadership of C4C, as I tell you earlier, is very diverse, from different backgrounds, different tribes, and people that were very, very intelligent, So we're not sitting down, sleeping. We've been working behind the scene, even though we are in court, and we're ready to unveil our leadership structure. We're ready to elect our national executive, and we're ready to present our flag bearer. By God in power, we will do that.
All right, Mr. Fande. I mean, of course, you talk tough, and obviously, like all political, leaders will do. But then there is a cut between reality and unrealistic prospect and realistic prospect, if I can put it that way. So we lost Mr. Fande in video briefly. Hopefully, okay, he's back. You make mention of how you call the you draw a contrast there of the Gambia, but there are no similarities. Let's be honest. About 7 political parties came together for go against the strong man at the Gambia, the former strongman Yaya Jammeh. This is not the case in Sierra Leone, especially with the C4C. And also, what I pick up from what you say, it seems like you guys are trying to position yourself as the third force. Am I reading that correctly, sir?
Yes, actually, you hear me clearly?
Yes, I hear you.
Yes. Well, this is a very good question. I'm glad we asked the question in reference to yes. Well, that tell you C4C, the C4C is just an acronym. Okay. This political party, the actual name, na Coalition for Change in Sierra Leone. It's built on the platform of a coalition with other political parties. And trust me, that statement, or that the fight, the core of it, of us being a coalition, never changed. And as we speak, we will work with other parties where they will likely join in this journey for those who go into 2023 elections. So we never give up on that. We really believe in coalition movements, and this is where we're heading to, especially going to the 2023, going against SAPP and then of course APC. So yes, the Gambia model. They had coalitions of parties that came together, and just like they did, and trust me, we're also working behind the scene right now to speak. I'm not going to tell the public everything that we're doing behind the scene, but I will disclose this, that we did not relent on coming together in a coalition format, in a coalition arena with other political parties, and so we'll put up a strong showing for the next elections. And this is not going to end after the 2023 elections. We're going to continue this to build on what we're going to build on starting 2023.
But the point here is, to form a coalition, nothing way possible, Mr. Fande, because after all, in a country of 16 tribes, when I get 17 political parties them. But most of these political parties, just like yours, now one corner of the country, even though it's significant, but now one corner of the country, and does not have, this broad national appeal, because the definition of a broad national appeal is you win seats, not different places, but then not just one district. And so is the other political parties them, and some of them, way you look at percentile wise, I mean, it's not credit worthy. No disrespect to them. So obviously, as a giant, why I man, like you say, it better pass the man where not get too high. So definitely you go able to forget other people that we go can join you now. But how much of an impact can you make with people when not get the national brother appeal?
Let me just say something, Mr. Kroma. Here's a fact. Yes, the C4C and some of the smaller parties right now, they strengthen them district by district. But I'll tell you, as far as we're concerned, I'll speak on behalf of C4C. We have a leadership structure in all the districts as alone. We do. And a party like us, a smaller party like we, a new party like C4C, of course we'll build on that. And we are. And there's we know still get a national fellowship alone, but transcend into the electoral vote yet. And it's gonna take time. We know that. Who are the least C4C? We're not going to this say who go win, especially at the presidential level, who go win the presidential elections overnight. We know that. Okay, we know the fight, the giants they go against. These are the two political parties that have been in existence in Sierra Leone for the last 60 some years. We're just 4 years old. So here's the thing. The bottom line is these two political parties, when are APC, SLP, as you know, most of its support, it's really tribal based, So, and the two largest tribes in Salone, then they support these two political parties. So it's going to take time for us as a third force to break into that. But I strongly believe that within time, all right, with working with the other parties, we'll go make an inroad in Salone, not just within certain districts, but actually the entire country and the presidency of Sierra Leone. This will come, and we believe it will come with time, and we strongly believe in that. And that is why we will not give up this fight. We will not give up the fight of presenting our folks an alternative from these two political parties. With all due respect to them, they've carried the mantle for the last 60-something years. This country, our country, Sierra Leone, we really need somebody else that could lead this country outside of these two political parties then for make we realize our potentials. We have to. Because if you look at the trend of these two political parties, no matter what they're power, are the same issues that they go through. Same corruption, same, violence, same way of thinking. You've had members of both parties. When this party win, other people they jump ship can join this party. When they win, join. It's the same people. They carried the affairs of the country for the last summer years. So here we are. We're saying, you give us the opportunity. They Sierra Leoneans think outside of the box. They then give a thought first. They then give somebody when an independent thinker. We go bring in new ideas into the country and reform the country. And then the country, I believe, there's a lot of potential in Sierra Leone, but it has to be tapped into by somebody that's outside of these two political parties. We need to think in those line of governance, So we are positioning our country for that. And we go make an inroad. Not today, not tomorrow, but we're moving towards that. And as you rightly know, 2018, there's not a political party in the history of Africa that did what C4C did. We've had our certificate 2.5 months into the general elections, and look what we did. So imagine if we can do that in less than 3 months. We can make an inroad into Australian politics for years to come, and this is going to develop into something. It's going to morph into something that people are going to be surprised how much strength we have gone, and how much people don't tire of these two political parties. We just need somebody that have the influence, a political party that have the stamina, that have the say-so, that knows what they're doing, for them to say, okay, my people, look at these two political parties and look at this third force and give us an opportunity for us to rule this country for 4 or 5 years, see the difference that they've not done, for the last 60 years.
Yeah, but Mr. Fande, it's going to take far more, than it is right now. And for
that is true.
Yes, exactly. But for Putam best, it's like I expressed that sentiment there earlier on that the C4C, in terms of the political rhetoric that you're spewing out there now to to the listening public, that you are force. Having said this, Mr. Fande, prior to the now, at the then, that was Dr. Kande Yumkela and the NGC. He didn't do quite well. And I'm sure you will agree with that. And if you agree with that, and you try to take that position, are there lessons learned? That's now admitting, say, yes, they failed, and you try to take that position. Are there lessons learned differently from how NGC and Dr. Kande Yumkela then do them?
Well, in everything that you do in life, even, our personal life at home, or even your professional life, you learn lesson every day. So you learn from somebody else's mistakes, or you learn from your mistakes. But the most important thing, Mr. Chroma, when mistakes are made, okay, it's not what the mistake was about. It's what you as an individual, what you as an organization, what you as a business entity learn from those mistakes and correct them, so you will never repeat those mistakes. And of course, we see what happened to NGC, and we as the C4C leaders, we know say we happy to NGC, we never happy to C4C. And that is because C4C was not built around one individual. It wasn't. It never will and never was. So we know say, and this is the reason why when we form this party, we not allow for make it go be about one person. So nobody not go come up here with tomorrow. Perfect example, you can tell. When Sumana left, there was a rumor going around, audios going around in social media that C4C is gonna go. C4C is gonna collapse because Sumana has left. And I was one of the people when I made an audio about 2.5 years back, and I said that's a lie. That is not true. With or without Sumana, C4C will survive. So yeah, so we've learned a lesson from what is happening to our brothers and sisters in the NGC. And here's another opportunity for C4C. And unfortunately, because we're in court where the NGC started go through this revolution or whatever, so now we sort of reach out to brothers and sisters because we have the same ideology. For me and John, we as a political party, so go move the mantle forward. It's not about the party, but it's about the sentiment. It's about your thinking, and they're thinking just like us. So we believe say most of these NGC folks, members them, even to the leadership, then go eventually join we as a political party. So we'll move on as a political move the same, because we're moving the same wavelength. So then we'll likely join we in this journey. It's just a matter of time. And we're working on that. We're working on, behind the scene, reaching out to NGC members and NGC leadership for us to come together and coalesce. So, yes, we've learned a lesson and we know what happened. Everybody know what happened with NGC. But C4C would never go through such a public display of, resemblance of collapse just because our structure is not built around any individual. It's built around a movement, and we believe in that.
Well said, sir. Many thanks for that. But I want to press you on this issue again of this success, this great success you talk about. Especially now, you're this famous district, you're called Kono, that the sons and daughters of Kono, they are at each other's throats. This is just a fact, Mr. Fande. That means you against Tababa. That means Sir Nyama against Mr. The man we go with against now the court where this court paper come down on. And these people, you're not big stakeholders na Kono. Implicit inside this statement is the district is divided. So if you cannot unite the district, how then do you go on a national level?
When you say divide, the only division that we had, it was when we have this case in the court, as far as C4C leadership is concerned. But
so you imply say now with the case verdict don't hand down, that the party don't unite again, that everybody, here is a bed of roses?
Well, I will not say everybody, but I tell you 99.5% of our folks are back. And we're back together, and we're going to work together to make sure opposition party into the 2023 elections. And just like any other political party, even every political party has stronghold. There's issues. I mean, that's just the nature of a political system. That's just the nature of a political party. We're not perfect. We need to talk say there's 100% unity. Of course, just like any other political party. I mean, you see what the APC went through or what they're going through right now. So the bottom line is, yes, in Kono, Kono has been the breadbasket for most political parties, and Kono is the battleground. Okay, so Kono district has been a district whose side every political party wants to make an inroad, because where Kono leans in every elections, most likely 99.9% of the time that presidential election, that presidential candidate or that political party end up winning the elections, because Kono is a district where they can lean APC or SFPP during the presidential elections. So yes, we not expect say everybody on board with we, but I tell you, most of our folks are back. They're happy that we're out of court. We're back, and the bottom line is, Kono, just like any other district, yes, we get divides, but at the end of the day, it's not about us. Okay, it's about the Kono people. It's not about the Kono district. And I tell you, because of what C4C did last elections, look how many times the president President BO, to his credit, look how many times he don't travel to Kono. Even today, he was in Kono. Okay, so he don't go there so many times, and not just him, but the APCs also are there, because they know say, what C4C did, we could repeat that, and they want to impede on that. They want to stop us, but they cannot, because the people of Kano believed in C4C, and that's the bottom line. C4C is our base. I mean, Kano is our base, and we are very popular on the ground. And so they want to divide the votes and split the votes in Kano district. But we got a message for them, with all your might, with all your money. We believe in the votes. We believe in the people of Kano. We believe they will deliver again in 2023.
All right, Mr. Fandemeni, thanks again for that. I wonder we revert back again to the 21-man committee. 21-man committee don't become synonymous with opposition party, then we they at loggerheads with each other. We saw a similar design for, when I say similar design, I just mean the 21-man committee. I don't know the design in terms of structure for the 21-man committee within the C4C, but we definitely know the APC one, there was a 21-man committee formed, and that did not go down very well. Is that the same thing with the C4C, and the same structure, the same design, and will it go down well, or it will be the same thing?
Actually, no, it's not going to be the same thing. We in fact, we are working, since we have the court ordered, since we have the court ruling, we immediately move into actions. Okay. And as I been telling you earlier, we never stop working. What I mean, we, the diaspora leadership, and some of the leaders and on the ground as alone, we never stop working. I will disclose this to you that, as a leader, every Sunday we meet. That's just a meeting. But during the week, we are communicating, through other means. But every Sunday we've met since the last elections. So we never stop working. So when this ruling comes, we're well positioned to just transcend from the injunction to the non-injunction. So to us to start working as a political party, which we can do officially now. So what we did, the first thing we did when this ruling came down, us as leaders, we'll get a copy of them, read them, we ingest them. So I immediately moved, and create a forum. We get the, as you don't read the order. The order called for with the 9 plaintiffs, all right, plus the 8 MPs in the parliament, and then so that makes 17. So which means the other 4 people then will go elect them or select them into the committee for Make 21. So immediately what I did, I created a forum where I brought in all the MPs and the plaintiffs. So we are on that platform right now, so started working right off the back, and then we have an office, Freetown, where we, in fact, the very next day, the MPs them, and we members on the ground, they have a meeting, and they've been having meetings, almost every day at the office. And also we're having, video conferences and WhatsApp meetings. So no, it's not the same. To answer your question, it will not be the same, because I tell you, we are working every day since the ruling for Mekogo meets the mandate of the court ordered and move on into conventions and move into the elections. So no, we are together, we're in peace, and we are working, amicably and working together. We communicate. We are very pleased of the outcome so far as the process is concerned.
So what's the relationship between Mr. Sanyama? Because they talk about relationship now, we are in peace and what have you. But not too long ago, the court just handed down a verdict. And sometimes when you lose, it can be difficult for you to stretch out a hand of friendship or an olive branch. So I ask you this because this is quite important. Waiting at the relationship between Mr. Sanyama and Mr. Tambasandi.
Very good question. And I go tell you this. Even though the rule is very clear that these 2 individuals, the judge clearly states that they were banned from holding any leadership position within the party. But I'll tell you right now, we have no quarrel with these 2 individuals. As a political party, as individuals, and as leaders. So we are open to work with them, and even though the court says they cannot hold any leadership position right now until the party transcend from this court order, we satisfy all the legalities of it, and then move on to the convention, and then eventually set up a new executive. But the persons in Sanyama's and Tambasandi, they are our brothers. We consider them as C4C leaders, C4C members. Yeah, they not be part of this transition team, but eventually we'll go, our doors are open. We're not going to close our doors on them. And same thing go for all the councillors we see, where they declare for SLPP in Akono. I've made it clear to them, and not just me, but the leadership in general. We've appeared on radio shows in Kono to say, look, regardless of what had happened, we are all in this together. We'll begin C4C. The doors are open. Yes, we understand the frustration for you to declare for a political party, but you're welcome to come back. So, we're not gonna have a strained relationship with Tamasande and Sanyama. We're gonna make sure this don't happen. As long as they're willing to work with us, the leaders of C4C, we're willing to bring them back on board as our brothers and sisters, and for the sake of the party, because we realize they've done a great deal of work for the party. So we have to be, grateful for that. We don't want to be ungrateful to them. So at the end of the day, the court order is one, and then two. After we went through this transition, there's another level of structure that we're gonna have to build upon. Especially after the elections, then we'll take it from there. But we definitely have our doors open to these two brothers them, and not just them, but to the councillors them, and some of the folks there where they say they don't declare for SLPP in Akono. You've seen the audios, you've seen. I don't bother we at all, because we don't say
Okay.
Political parties them they go through transitions, and we're going through that right now.
Okay. Yeah. On that same basis, there, I just want to do a follow-up on that. You speak nicely and rosily about all the other people there. We supposedly, yes, we are all Nakono people, them, brothers and sisters. But when it comes to politics, we understand how toxic it can be. But the fact here is that Sam Sumana don't go, and these people are going along with Sam Sumana. They talk about the Alicious Koigo for them. If you watch me screen, the Safa Koroma, the Moses Bayo, the Mariah Bangura, the Lawrence Kokas, Bolo, David Baikonte, the Mickey Perry, and all of the others, they are going to go away with Sam Sumana, because that's where the real prospect lies.
And we wish them the best. We wish them good luck.
Okay.
We do. No, seriously. I wish them all the best.
Fair enough, sir.
That's correct.
I just want to go into some substance inside this ruling, handed down by Justice Fisher, looking at dates and times, the defendants then file opposition, and sworn by all of them, Koigo Alosh for since 2020. And I know say the last time when I talked to either you, Una, than lawyer Metzger, Kevin, and Dr. Iskandri, there was some fine that was supposed to be paid. I wonder who that didn't get a fine there for paid, and all of that been pending. But all of this what they read, I know a real thing about this fine. Can you update me on this fine, if you will, please?
Yes, definitely. In fact, there was a fine that was leveled against, Prince. Here's a fact. We as human beings sometimes we can deceive each other. But what happened? We'll begin this process of this transition, this national executive. The first thing we're gonna cut for say, okay, this we're gonna put. We cannot have the names we mentioned. Most of them they're with some Sumana. So, and that's part of the reason why we say we have to go to court because C4C is not for sale. C4C will not form out for make we go join another political party. That was not our intent. So that is the reason I stated earlier why we're gonna cut. But let me tell you something. What we're gonna cut. One of the things that were they leveled against us with the diaspora group leaders, they say we're not members of C4C. We're not members of C4C. Could you imagine? This is the party that we formed. This is the party that we began. And they say that we're not members them just because we're in the diaspora. So they say they will just roll over us. But then we're gonna cut. We'll present a case, and the judge ruled against them, saying, no, you have no justification here that these guys are not members. So the court leveled a fine. And that fine, up to now, it hasn't been paid. And within this court order, there's another fine that was levied against them. But we're not after them for money. We're not in this for money. We're in this to save our party. And this is exactly what we've done. We save, we don't party. We believe say this party will form. We believe in the ideology of a democracy, of giving our folks a third option as alone. So we're not a money we do one for. We're not doing for say, one for get money from them people. Even with the court rulings, even with this court ruling, there's a fine in there heavily. But we need to look, we need to go after them, say them for pay that money there. So to answer your question, no, the fine was levied against them, against the defendants, but up to now they not pay that money yet. And we need to push for that. They force them for me to go pay, And then in addition to that, there's another fine within this ruling that the court just delivered on the 20th of February. But we're gonna let it go for the interest of the party and move on as brothers and sisters. So we'll strengthen with party into the 2023 elections.
Okay. Obviously, I still there on the court in order here, and this is a learning curve for a young party. We get this massive very tall ambition, and in terms of the constitution, now something we want to intend for touch on, like for amend them, create new paragraphs, new legitimacy, legality, if you like, lack of better choice of words. All I mean is, having gone through all of this for these few years, are you guys going to play on the constitution where say the other people and then lack the legality and then don't run out of their tenure of office as prescribed by the constitution? Is there going to be some amendment?
Well, definitely, we are, and a constitution now a living document, as you know. It could be amended anytime, any day. So it depends on what's happening. We're gonna adjust to that conditions. So definitely we're open to amending our constitution. And as I said, it's not a document written in stone. It's a document. It's a written document. So we can amend it, or we just let it go the way it is. But definitely we're gonna look. This is all the things that we're gonna look into. Right now, our primary focus right now is to make sure we meet the mandate of this court order that was delivered on the 20th of February. As I said, we are working tirelessly behind the scenes since we've got the order. So we want to just meet the judge in order and then position us into our next convention and then into the elections. Immediately after the 2023 election, regardless of the result of the elections, we're gonna go and revisit the C4C as a whole, and that includes the constitution. We'll go back as leaders, we'll sit down with leadership on the ground as salon. We MPs them, we then go in our parliament, we councillors them, and then the district chairs them. For me, we'll go see our best, we'll go put another, or go amend the constitution so it go fit, looking forward into the next, general elections, hopefully in the 2028 elections, which I think, at that point, we'll be in a much stronger party than we are going to these elections right now. We're not naive. We know say there's opportunities for us. We know say there's some issues that we need to address, and we'll address that as leaders.
Okay, probably this gets something for do with the 12th paragraph of this court order, in which the justice or the judge said, I'm not so minded to make such an order. The functions of the 9th defendant, PPRC, is to supervise the activities of a political party and not to take over and operate political parties. There's currently no executive to prepare the party for its biannual conference. Explain, please.
Well, that is true. So, and that is why the judge cleverly he states say make we form this 21 persons committee. So because the judge say we'll not get the structure in place, because the structure that was in place, there has been disbanded. So this 21-man committee or 21 persons committee have replaced the leadership of the party, so the party could be prepped in a way, come together, ready for the convention, into our flag bearership and into the elections. So what the judge says right there is correct. And this 21 person committee now officially leads the party, now temporarily until we have our convention, and then until we go through the elections. And then after the elections, we are mandated to come up with a national executive. And then that will be the permanent executive for now going to it depends how many years we speculate now constitution, which we're going to address all that, but yes, the judge is right. there's no structure in place right now, and this is why it gave us the opportunity as a party to form this committee, and we formed the committee, and we're working to make sure we do not lag behind, even though we're starting on very disadvantagedly, with the time that was left for the general elections. But we're used to that. As I said earlier, C4C, we had a symbol or certificate from PPLC just 2.5 months, 2018, into the elections, and we made some great strides, as a new political party. So we're used to working from behind the scene. In fact, that'll give us, it strengthen us as a party, as leaders, for making we think, and work very hard for make sure we meet all the mandates and make sure we run these elections successfully.
Okay, yeah. Of course, we will go into the second and final part of the program, but I just want to ask some few short questions. And again, based on the court order, information media are a kind of serious business, and sometimes they help others forget information which they not be privy to, or we will help them both in the now and in the future. And therefore, I want to ask, who are these 5 regional chairmen of the Coalition for Change who have been declared the mandate with them they operate on does no longer exist? Who are there 5 people there?
You said regional leaders or executive or national executive leaders?
The declaration say, this are the quote the judge in inverted commas, that a declaration is granted to the effect that the 5 regional chairmen of the C4C party are illegitimate on the grounds that the mandate upon which they were appointed and continue to act has elapsed pursuant to Article 14 CIV of the C4C Constitution, was published in the Sierra Leone Gazette on the 20th October 2017. Unquote.
Well, I think the judge referred to the party, as I explained earlier, when we first start, we get a temporary leadership and national leadership, which is made up of
You see me screen?
No, I know the see screen.
Okay, yeah, I'll be getting it, but go on anyway. Sorry for budgeting.
No problem. So I believe the judge is referring to the chairman, which was Tambasandi, to Kwego 4, which was the Secretary General, and some of the executive members that were made part of that structure. So this is what the judge is referring to right now in that court order. So we are, as I said, we the plaintiff them, even though we are the victor in this case, we will not against any of we former leaders them, and our doors are open for us to work together so we can move this party forward. But the judge is referring to the national executive that was in place, and then in addition to national executive, we get, of course, regional chairs them, and then of course we get district chairs them. So what the judge is saying, that the mandate of that executive, of that leadership, was expired. It was expired 2 months after the elections. So that is what the judge is referring to. And now we're ready to, as I said, this 21 persons committee that's working right now, to revisit all those areas. And after the elections, after we transition into after the 2023 elections, we want to go back into a national convention as a political party for me to elect a new leadership of C4C. So that's going to come with time. But right now, our primary focus, as I said earlier, is just to meet this mandate and make sure we position our party to go into the elections, which we're working tirelessly, expeditiously behind the scene. So we'll meet this mandate and position, we candidate them, and as well as we flag bearer. But yeah, that ruling is actually directed at the former executive and the regional chairs them, when they made part of the national executive. So they're disbanded, and we have a new structure in place. We have a new committee in place, and the committee right now, as we speak, they are working. And this is the committee. This is the leadership of C4C right now, officially from the court, that will lead this party into the 2023 election.
Quick one. You talk about the 21-man committee?
Yes. The 21
Okay,
command
because
committees.
that's exactly Usa Abenigo with me next question. But thank you for that clarification. And
Yeah.
if I can just add back again, because the court order say the 8 members of parliament representing the C4C party in parliament and 4 other members of the party to be appointed by the plaintiffs and the members of parliament by a simple majority. Are you saying that this structure is in place? Is that what you're saying to members and the general public?
Yes. Yes, it is.
Okay.
We wasted no time to put the structure in place. As I said, the very day we received this ruling, the next day we started working.
One phrase also catch me attention here. We talk about simple majority, and this is not something we already before. And I think I ask you something to that effect the earlier on, we began for do with the All People's Congress in terms of the own 21-man committee, we and Justice Adrian Fisher, organized for them. So this again about simple majority. So I asked the question again, based on the APC experience, of course, now learning curve. Are we going to avoid some of the things that the APC being for go through by the definition of simple majority? When I get a clear-cut definition and an agreement between ourselves as to what a simple majority represents?
Definitely. So what we did, to be fair with the process, as you rightfully say, the judge say the 9 plaintiff plus the 8 MPs go made up the committee, and then this body, the 17, these 17 members or the 17 persons would then, by simple majority, elect or select four members then by simple majority. So what we've done with the plaintiff them, we name 2 people then to this committee, and they will get the MPs them on the ground. For myself, name 2 people them for men and join the committee. So we are working amicably, peacefully. We have no problem at all. We have no issues as far as who's doing what. It's very clear. We have a memorandum of understanding. What each of us needs to do to make sure we not make the same mistakes as other political parties and make sure we move this process, because all of us are aware of, say, time is not on our side. Time is our worst enemy. So we have no time to waste. So I tell you, from the beginning of this process, it has been peaceful. It has been a process of understanding, a process for respect. So we are working together as a team. We have no problem at all. So the committee is formed, the committee is working, and I tell you, the speed we're moving at, sooner or later the public will read from C4C as far as our conventions, and then also the declaration of our flag bearership into the next election.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we talk to the global chair for the C4C, then at the Coalition for Change, Mr. Iyafande. He's been on this platform before. He's no stranger to the platform. And I'm going to try to understand many, many things. And this is an obligation that we part, both the listeners and the producers of this particular program. It's very important. Election is looming. Which direction are we going to head into? So when people of this caliber speak, well, the nation honestly need for listening, regardless of how you see them. So please don't touch that dial as we come to the final part of this very, very important call. Again, Fambulem, welcome once more. And if we can do one last set of sharing, that would be very much appreciated. All the people that will make comments on the platform, as long as it is done respectfully, we will show those comments. And one thing will be asked, we're also interested in knowing whose side people and they watch from. So next time, if they make you comments, if you can just put the initial or the name of the country whose side they watch from or city, we go really, really appreciate that. But this evening, on the very first day of March, we are talking to the global chair of the C4C, when at the Coalition for Change. And as elections is looming, and a very critical election for that matter, imagine a political party of this stature will take 3rd place at the country at the last election. Not let me say not important for let we listen to these new leaders, crop of leaders, where they anticipate them will take, the 3rd position now the country, and therefore provide an alternative between 2 octogenarian party them. Okay, and this is none other but Mr. Iyafande. Let me go to the bone of the issue, which is all about contesting the 2023 elections. Obviously, political party, you do have a view, you represent something, you then are the conscience of the country, the minds of the people. I wonder what are your thoughts, sir? If you can just weigh in quickly on 2023 election, C4C, and how you see this whole thing they unfold.
Well, thank you very much for that question. This is funny because I did have several platforms political platforms as well as other humanitarian organization platform, and I come across a lot of lot of postings and videos and comments, and one mistake that anybody could do, and I would advise, and I get friends in APC, I get friends in SLPP, so it's NGC, but especially me SLPP brothers and sisters there, I tell and say, listen, una not jubilate so early na kono, una they make a mistake if una do that, and also I tell and say, listen, una not declare C4C dead, because I've had some friends telling me, "Bo, una party don't die, bo." Look what's on there. Now they begin. Now they begin. The timetable are not going to even meet the deadlines. So it's a big mistake for any political party or any person to underestimate C4C. I mean, not one, because we don't show the country say we can do. We can do it. We've done it. We don't show the country 2018 what we're capable of doing. So and we're gonna repeat the same successes here. And in fact, I go declare this today for say, people don't go be surprised how well we go do outside of Kono, because people don't feel in a Kono base. That's yes, it's our stronghold, and we appreciate that the Kono people that adopt to it and they don't take it like their own picking, So we tell them thank you for that. But the fact remains that C4C have a leadership structure in all the districts them, who get district leaders them all over the country. So people will be surprised to see how well we're gonna do for the next elections outside of Kono. So don't count C4C out. Don't do it. And I tell my friends this. I tell my APC friends and I tell my SLPP friends, don't do that. You're making a mistake. So because I know C4C and most of it don't. I know what the C4C is capable of doing. I know the leadership of C4C. I know what I know what you can do, what we're capable of doing. So the next elections, Mr. Kroma, I'll tell you, you go talks about I've been talking. Okay, I'm not gonna sit there and predict. This is exactly what happened in 2018. 2018, I've been getting me SAPP friends them and me APC friends and say, "Bo, can join we bo this this one they go no side." I tell them say, "Bo, na left bo." After the elections, when the results came out and saw what we did in Kono, some of the what I call it, then they pick up the phone. They're not looking for pick up the say, "We not go if we 1 or 2 seats na Kono." So here we are. So all I'm saying to our folks on the ground, believe in us, believe in this leadership, and trust that we will do well. Trust that we as a political party, will not get people there in place where they're very like-minded, very intelligent, very dedicated, that for CCA, we contest the 2023 elections, and we contest them all over the country, and we go for successes all over the country. We're not just counting on Kono District alone. And this is going to be one of the biggest takeaway from the 2023 elections as far as C4C is concerned. And with all due respect to the councillors, them now that understand the mayor of Kono, you don't jump over to SLPP. So be it. We're not to cry over that, because we know who side the Kono people then there when it comes to C4C. We know how popular and they've adopted us as a political party. So we know say every seat in Kono, we're gonna contest that, and we're gonna make sure we win them seats. So somebody left, we say they go to a party, that's so good. But we're not giving up. We're not giving up. That's just you. You as an individual, you've gone. But you've not taken away the inner core of the believed of the Kono people that for say, this time we party this. When I go to that ballot box, now for me party that vote. You've not taken that away. You've taken yourself out of the process, but you've not taken that away. And we'll take up in a Kono 2018. We're gonna make sure that success is not just stay within the Kono district, but we'll work very hard for make sure we other districts will make some inroads. Maybe win 1 or 2 seats or 1 or 2 seats in Freetown. But we're working tirelessly for make sure C4C expand, the member of parliament in next coming elections?
Yeah, many thanks for that again. But on a realistic prospect, you talk about the then and the now in terms of C4C, how then, bail out almost everything, in Akono. But this was the good old days, Mr. Fande, when the party, them be joined at the same, them be united, and friendship, brotherhood, and love was there. And a lot of it again was as a consequence of a sympathy vote as to what was done to the then vice president. But again, that was then, and this is now. So the reality might be a little bit different, and maybe you get more hard work for you and your colleagues. But on a final note, the issue about timeline very, very important, and I shall say we will agree on that, because tomorrow belongs to those who are prepared today. And you need time for prepare, for tomorrow. This court order will just finally come down. I'm sure you wish it been all come down a long time ago, so when I go on begin on preparation and you know where you are. So in terms of this, meeting the court order in terms of the timeline, it's not really favorable, Mr. Fande. Correct, sir?
Of course, it puts us in a bind. It puts us in a position of we start from a disadvantage timeline position. You're right. I mean, the fact is a fact. We would have wished that this ruling came a year ago, or a year and a half ago, or even 6 months ago. But this is where we find ourselves. And to be honest with you, what we as a political party and the leadership realize, okay, for say this court case, it was a case that the ruling party wanted it to be where it was in court. Because you can what is happening in Kono right now, it's by design. Going after we councillors, going after we elected candidates them or elected members them, the mayor and everybody. It's by design, and the plan was to hold us hostage, in the court, all case hostage. So the ruling, as it is right now, come very late. So will be this oriented, and we cannot put ourselves together with enough time for us to be a force to reckon with. But I tell you, they're making a mistake because, as I said earlier, Mr. Kuroma, we never stop working. When I say we, the diaspora leadership, including our leaders on the ground, some of them, we never stop working. We continue working. So I'll tell you right now that yes, the time was not. It's not favorable if you look at it from a political timeline. But we are not going to relent. In fact, they make work harder, and to their biggest surprise, then we see I would display in 2023. We did the same thing in 2028. I think I've said this like 2 times now, that in 2028 it was 2.5 months into the elections when we officially got our certificates. And going to Sumana, wasting our sympathy votes. Yes, I know we'll take that away. Yes, the most of the people will be disgruntled where Sumana was kicked out of office by the APC. Okay, but I tell you, this C4C has transcended that. We are beyond that now. We are beyond one individual having any kind of influence. The belief in the C4C and the support of it is very, very something where they cannot people them. And now to the general public national, then they say this party, even though they're new, look at what they've done. So people don't start to look at us, outside of any one individual. So even Sumana leaving us did not change the dynamic in Kono. I tell you, and we'll go see that. Time will tell. The elections are coming up, because even myself, I want us to go through these elections and see how well we go do in Kono and other parts of the country. Then people realize, well, this wasn't about Sumana. This is deeper than that, and people need to pay attention to that, because we are not giving up. So I tell you, this ruling, even though it comes this late, we are very determined to work very hard and make sure we contest these elections, and not just contesting in 1 or 2 districts in the entire country. With a plan for field all the candidacies into the entire country, including a flag bearer. This is what the opposition don't want us to do. This is why they've gone around to weaken us.
The opposition, when you say the opposition, you mean within the C4C or outside of the
No,
C4C?
I'm talking of SFPP, of course. You know how much money they spent for the last 3 months? You know how much money
Well,
they spent?
except you make it clear to the viewing public, there are many things that the viewing public will not know. So now the SLPP, of course, when you want a district, you want wins on side, account capital, you get for spend. And that's what you're saying, they don't spend a lot. Are you saying that you're going to pose a barrier between the SLPP taking Kono and the C4C? Now that you imply inside your statement, sir?
Oh no, definitely we stop them. We stop them rather than tracks, just like we did APC. I tell you right now, just like we did APC. 2018. If 2018 is a lesson, I know SFPP folks away. Then they listen to this
Absolutely,
interview.
A couple of them will listen later again. Yeah, true.
Yeah, and then also the political strategies in place in Sierra Leone. Therefore study the 2018 elections. 2018 elections, Mr. Kroma, as I tell you, we're a new party. We're not get money, we're not get buck money, but we get people that they believe in us. They have the belief in the system, in the ideology. So 2018, APC spent a lot of money in Kono, maybe more than what TSF people spend right now. Okay, this is something that's coming to us. We, from the ground, we have folks on the ground that was giving us information. APC was giving, thousands and thousands of leons or millions of leons, whatever they call it, bag of rice, T-shirts, and all that stuff. Buy goats and sheep for chiefs and paramount chiefs. That's all what's done against C4C. Now, so if that was a lesson, SFPP should learn. Okay, money they buy votes. Okay, money they buy votes. So the bottom line is, because the people believe in us, because this political party is about them, not us. It's about the country and not one individual. It's about an ideology. We go stop them na Kono, and not just Kono, but we'll go make some inroads into other areas na Salone by God in power.
And this could be very well true. The thought process of we constituents them, the electorates them, is changing from that traditional sort of view about voting and political parties. It's slow, but the data points say there are changes. Like people from Kono, very smart people, and you get younger, very dynamic in the kind of thought process, not so like the old school, this is a new school and it's pointing to a new direction. We did a survey, what was very private with some of my Kono friends, and this is what they came up with. So you could be making a very good point there. But again, while they close the program slowly, are you also the position on yourself about the outcome of 2023, which likely, whichever way it go, una go sort of talk about a power sharing agreement? Is that on the table, on the thought process of the C4C, especially when I say una the aim at the this third force?
Yeah, definitely. Everything's on the table. All the options are on the table, Mr. Kroma. Every option. We not they rule out nothing, because we the C4C, we the C4Cians, we are very patriotic. First, country first. Everything's about Salone, and then everything else is secondary. Okay, so anything we're good for the country, we're definitely open to options. So we definitely close the door. We don't talk, say, well, you know what? Because we know do ABC, we know go talk to GHA. No, we're not gonna do that. We are very smart individuals. C4C is led by very independent and smart individuals. Let me go back to the statement we make about Kono youth. I'll tell you right now, it's not just Kono youth, okay? But the entire country is very young, the voters, the entire country. So we believe, say, a party like C4C go eventually make a strides into the voting population, okay, and elect a presidency from a party with time. We believe in that, and that is why some of us are in this. We're not in this because we just want to gain fame or try to jump ship because we want to be president overnight. No, we're not. You know, like me personally, I've been recruited by SAPP, APC, I've been recruited by PMDC, but you know, C4C is my baby. So I'm not going nowhere. And regardless of the elections, regardless of the result 2023, you know, just like you said, you mentioned earlier, after the elections, we're gonna go back to the drawing board and see who saw make mistakes, who saw we do well, the lessons learned, and they will move forward. But we are not in this for me to abandon with party just because of certain results. No, we're in this for the long haul, and we believe in the Shalinian people then for say, especially the youths coming up now, this young generation, you know, years to come, they will start to think outside of these two political parties, them outside of the box, and give a party like C4C an opportunity to rule this country. It's gonna come. It's just a matter of time. You can see it. The vibes is there, you know. So I believe in that, you know. And talking of, let me give you a story. In 2018, the presidential elections, after the first round, going to the second round, okay, we were approached by both parties for me to endorse a candidate, but we took a position as neutral, as a neutral party. We did not officially endorse any one candidate for say over the other, okay. But I tell you, what happened at Kono, okay, because of some of us are influenced, okay. Bio win Kono because you know because it's just that was just the right thing for them to do, you know, because our APC brothers and sisters for the longest time wouldn't be there at power. There was so many issues in Kono, so many violence, and some of us preached to that. We spoke to them, you know. That is not, you know, Kono people are not just like you said. The Kono people are not to fool people. They're not dumb. So what was happening on the ground did not favor APC because of the internal strifes and violence within the APC itself. So Bio was very positioned to win Kono, and he did during the runoff. So we are in the same position in this case. You know, going to 2020 elections, we're gonna contest, we're gonna fight it, and at the end of the day, if you come to a time so we need for sit down with any political party for the betterment of the country, we'll do that. We'll listen.
Okay, fair points there. I mean, let's wrap up this interview on a different note. I know we can't talk about this court order. We finally come out, the C4C and etc. But as a political party, you also get obligation not only to the party, like the PPRC define party activity. It go far beyond just standing elections. So the question to you is, I wonder what you view about we country today, economically, politically, socially.
Wow. You know, you say I have to be very, very be careful here and be fair. You know, you and I know say, you know, then two political parties they don't rule this country for 60 some years. APC more than SAPP. So each party then kind of power, they try to do, you know, their best to put their best foot forward and, you know, accomplish some things then. But the problem with system, you know, the judiciary, the legislative, and then also the presidency, those three organs, okay, every time each of these political parties in their power, with all the good intent by maybe the president, you know, then they end up for find out say, we know we are in the same, you know, quadrant. That is, one, either there's a lot of corruption going on, okay, a lot of violence going on, abuse of power, abuse of the judiciary. The judiciary, of course, you and I know say it's not independent and alone. So it's like mostly what the power want or power from above. And it's not just because BO is in power, but I'm talking of this two political party then. Whatever the power want or others above, that's the policeman and they execute, that's the military and that's the judiciary they execute. There's a power from above. And those are the things that impede our progress. And that is because, you know, when you have either SAP or APC rule this country, you know, it's gonna be one of them. And we not ever as a country put a stronger third force for go against them. This is the first time, you know, that they've had a party that will not give in, will not be bought by money. The leadership is not in that for that. So we are in to make sure there are changes in our country, or we're forced to change. And let me give SLPP a credit, to be honest with you. If you look on right now, they've done some things there. And the reason why they pay so much attention now, not because of C4C, not because there's a party on the ground that is very, very strong. So they have to weaken that party. So they pay so much attention to Kono. You know, the university going to Kono.
Okay, I think we lost Iya there briefly, but Fambulem, if I can just hold on. In the next 5 minutes, we'll wrap up this beautiful program. It is quite important that we get this program. Obviously, yeah, I will just move on into another question, because of course you've made a point as to, you know, yeah, I'm giving credit to the party as a consequence of C4C, the present. Now I make SLPP have done waiting and do now the place born and they pose more challenge to them, which will be to the benefit of the Kono people them. The question I want to ask you one more before the final question to the end of this particular program is about C4C in a Parliament. I think it skip me brain until it's very good, in fact, at the end. Not very long ago, C4C in a Parliament being boku sonko and, you know, yeah, Rikishi and Dabaru. The leader in a parliament, you know, you're being accused of, you say, well, it is supporting and where something, you know, you're proposals, you know, as a parliamentarian, if it's good for you, it's good for the country, it's good for your constituents, them, you will support. But we can't politics where they play, they don't become so toxic and dangerous. But all said and done, the party been getting you issue inside parliament. As we speak today, many, many months after that 10 days, where exactly with the party in performance in the parliament as the global leader for the party? How satisfied are you with your party in the parliament?
Well, to give a fair assessment, you know, we members of parliament, most of them, just like you said, they did the right thing for their constituencies. You know, they take votes or take stands because of what's best for their constituencies. But as a political party, I wish, you know, some of our members them, they've been, you know, steadfast to our ideology and stay with the core value of C4C. You know, I'm not gonna call names here. I'm not gonna do that. You know, because the bottom line is, we are moving on now as a party, and this is not lost on us. We know. I mean, you know, I tell you right now, we know. You know, it's not like we don't know to the ground within the walls of parliament. We know that some of the votes and some of them take. We know they in line with the C4C leadership. We know that. We know those MPs. But as a party, this is where leadership comes in. So this is, you know, we've addressed some of these issues behind the scene, and we'll continue doing that, you know. But the bottom line is, you know, each MP for realize say when they're gonna parliament, they went there to represent a party, and that party was C4C. Okay, and some of them, you know, they stray away from that, which, you know, and as I said, you know, it's not lost on us as leaders. You know, we've addressed it, or we'll continue to address that. You know, so going to the 2023 elections, we have to make some solid decisions as leaders. You know, some of them is gonna be very, very tough decisions. It's gonna be, you know, so we'll have some tough conversations. You know, so we said all the lesson. We're not a young party. You know, you don't compare us to the APC, SLPP. These people, they exist, you know, for like 60 years. We're just 4 years old. So we they learn every day, you know, and we morph every day, we they reposition every day, you know. So that's a very, very legit question, and we are aware of what's happening within the walls of parliament.
All right, finally, Mr. Fande, this has been a very good conversation, good questions, good answers, much appeal to the Sierra Leonean people. My final thoughts to you in the form of a question is, have you any final sentiment, any final thought, any final view, message to the goal? This is a message. I mean, it's a statement of fact. That's your strong goal. So obviously, when you make your appeal, something even in football, you develop the game from somewhere where the goalkeeper pass the ball to you, and begin to develop the attack, and want to end on the other side. But again, any specific message for the Kono people And not only the Kono people, because you're a political party with this high aim, as you have espoused some in this particular program here tonight. So, on top of specific talk to the Kono people or statement, and anything generally for the Sierra Leonean populace.
Okay, well, once more, thank you very much, Prince, for the invite. Thank you for giving me this platform for make I go explain to people them all across the country and across the globe about say C4C was once in court, the court case done, and then C4C we are back into the political arena officially, and we're ready to move on to the 2023 elections. But with a sense of urgency because we have a timelines to meet. But my appeal to me people them, first I want to tell me people then thank you for the opportunity then give we as a political party, as a new party for adopt we all over the country. Let me tell you, one of the things that where people don't realize last elections, we have candidates in all the constituencies. We fill every candidacy except for one. I believe it's in Kabbalah area or where we possibly go pay, you get accident for register the candidates. But we fill all the candidates in 2018. So I want to tell silent people and thank you for accepting us. And as I said, yes, Kono is our stronghold, and I'm really much appreciate to Kono people them. And I tell them thank you for the fact say this not in Peking, we don't call C4C. Do I mean no abandon we? Men still tweet. Men believe in this cause. We're back. But also generally to the general public, and that is why as I've stated this earlier, that we have a leadership. C4C have a leadership in all the districts. We work behind the scene in all the districts, including Freetown. So we've not given up on anything. We've not given up on anything. So we are positioned to go into these elections and make sure that people don't understand the option we then get. And the option that you have is to look and see the future of Sierra Leone. Where do we want to be 10 years from now, 15 years from now, 20 years from now? For that to happen, we're not going to forgive a third party an opportunity. Somebody way the outside of SAPP and APC, when one day old presidency in Salon, a political party, we're going to bring a new brand of leaders, ideas, for make them go, for make move this country, for make the suffering of our people go stop. Our people have suffered a lot, we're raised into that suffering, Thank God, some of us are in the diaspora, at the end of the day, we're able to provide one or two things for family then, but there are millions of people that are suffering in our country. And this is why some of us are in this. We're in this because we've seen the sufferment of our populace. And we try to say, enough is enough. Corruption in our country is an epidemic that has to come to a stop. This is what C4C is about. It's about accountability and development and make sure that we all to account, regardless of who win the presidency or not, we only account the administration power for making sure they do the right thing for the country. But we believe, say, if the country gave a party like us, C4C, the chance for rule, I tell you, because we're not in this to gain anything from anybody. We're in this to make sure our people are positioned to realize the benefit and to realize the potential of Sierra Leone. This is why we're in this. And as I tell you, we're not counting our egg there right now. We need to hatch them before they're even ready for the hatch. But I tell you, with time, I believe in the Sierra Leonean people, and I believe in the especially the youths, that they will give a party like this an opportunity for this country. And if they do that, they will see what it should be, for a democracy to work for the people, and not for individual or for a political party.
Obviously, ladies and gentlemen, that was the global chairman of the C4C. If anybody understand body language, you will see that Mr. Fande is extremely excited. I don't know why. And every nuance, every stretch of in facial expression a show one of confidence and joy, and is oozing with so much confidence tonight, which is a good one based on, again, what he say, and hopefully that will translate into something more positive, here for the nation. I'm glad the way you come and do this interview and explain to Salon people there. We will try for dissect this program and make sure we get 3-4 minutes clip for we people them back in Salon, where they find difficulty in appropriating data, where they go download, upload before they watch. So we go cut and short for them, because this message is absolutely important, and we hope the Kono people them, go, take advantage of this particular kind of program. One thing Westwood they aspire for do is, well, obviously the last time I do the same thing. I listen to one side of the program. I don't listen to all sides, but the first time I listen to one side of the program, I got stone, I got heat, I got, because it's like, I'm just an arbitrator. I'm just in the middle. And obviously it's like I took side just by inviting a guest, but that was then. This is now. Hopefully the minds of people will have changed. But what I'm trying to say is, I will try and see whether I'm able to bring both sides, because this is time for peace and reconciliation for the goodness of the country. So if I can do that in my own little means with my little platform, I'll be very much happy for do that. And after this program, I will try and see whether I'm able to approach the other side, because I know say I get Kevin in number Metzger. We don't talk a few times, of course. I hope the madam is recovering. I don't know whether I do want to make them, like public. And if not, I take my word back. But of course, I wish everything well for the brother. And Dr. Iskandri, we've spoken, a few times, and today we get a global chair himself. So I will try to reach out to the other whom, I do have a conversation with them, and I've got no part to play in this. I am not a member of the C4C. Mistake here now overall as a Sierra Leonean, and I hope I make the point clear. But once more, Mr. Fande, thank you so much. I hope for bring you come on again soon, because as the election fever they heat up and they reach that boiling point, we need more and more of the political leaders, them those who they aspire, for continue for come and provide message and information to the Sierra Leonean people. Thank you so much, my dear brother, and hopefully we'll catch up soon.
Mr. Chroma,
yeah.
Give me just 1 second, please. You mentioned Kevin. Ahead, you mentioned Kevin, and I need to make this statement. Kevin has been a brother to us. He's been a family member. And just to let you know, I'm sure you mentioned his wife. It's sad to pass on the news to the public. Say, we brother, he bereaved. He lost his wife. And, so we get buried in the C4C family. I tell you, Kevin, now one of the founding members, them, with all within Kevin they go through, one day miss any meeting, one day miss. In fact, Kevin, as a lawyer, he practice in a salon. So he be the work with lawyers there in a salon throughout this court case, up to the end. But he eventually lost his wife, and we as a C4C were bereaved. And in fact, with the leadership of C4C, with a plan by God in power for go at this burial, when the family put the time and everything at the UK. But I just want to pass on this message to the public that we founding members them, we bereaved, and if one of us bereaved, all of us are bereaved, because Kevin has been we are not just leaders in the political party, but we're now brothers. The core group of C4C, the core diaspora leadership. We're like brothers now. We don't embrace each other. We know each other family. We talk outside of politics. Even though some of us live in a different continent, but still we're still connected and intertwined. So this touch, I'm glad we mentioned that. We mentioned Kevin, but I need to pass us along to, the public would ask who C4C members there for pray for Kevin. They God give wife a good road. They so rest in peace.
Absolutely, and I express the same, your sentiment. I'm moved. It's not like I know Kevin personally, but I don't host on 1 or 210. And from just the conversation at the background, some kind of friendship. And I know I talked to like a few weeks ago about an interview regarding the same C4C. And he explained to me, and I cannot be sure whether I for make this news, kind of public, exactly what's going to happen to him with, where you don't break the news now, say don't pass, which I don't know of. I just know say in West be sick and he look after him. And he tell me, say, but Prince, anytime where you need me, just let me know ahead of time. And maybe I will make time for one short interview. So I decide not for really bother around from that 10 day and not get in touch again until I read this news. Can I use this public platform for express me deepest and profound condolences to the brother for the loss of in dear wife, and may the soul of the late woman, find eternal peace. And I want to keep me informed anyway where this platform can help. We will be willing, for play with your own part, but I'm deeply, touched because you just break the news to me. So I'm getting a bit emotional and I think I need for, kind of kill the program. But many, thanks for this. I will try to get in touch with the brother and express me personal, condolences to Ram.
And thank you very much, Prince. And definitely we'll keep you posted because you're gonna see some of us in the UK in a few weeks. So
so when I hit base, please let me know, or before when I come, let me know. So we will help for render some kind of assistance, logistically back and forth and what have you. But definitely, this is a huge, loss. Not man, So I think I feel part of this endeavor. So please let me know when they come. So and una keep me posted, okay?
Definitely.
Okay.
Thank you.
Many thanks. Yeah, I really appreciate this. Fumble, and this is it. We've come to the end of tonight's program, and we get many more programs than where they come onto for me again. And Prince Emil Kroma on the TNN media platform. Please continue for share with videos. Thank you so much and good. Goodbye for now. Thank you very much. With our last part, Friedman, Holocaust survivor, US or us. Goodbye, everybody.